We just got a look at the first new booster pack release for Pokemon TCG Pocket, and one card in particular has players a little bit concerned. I'm going to evaluate it, give my thoughts, and also talk about some future decks on today's video.
These donuts are great! Jelly-filled are my favorite!
Hey guys, this is Justin. Hello and welcome to another video. So, Pokemon TCG Pocket is getting a new update in less than a week. It'll be adding over 80 cards, plus I assume some variants, including 5 brand new EXs. Now, Charlie did a full breakdown just a couple of hours ago, which you can check out on the channel, but I thought I was discussing 1 or 2 cards in particular which fans are concerned about, especially the new Aerodactyl EX. First of all, before talking card mechanics, I gotta say, I'm really excited to see what the full art for these new EXs look like. And Pokemon.com also mentions that some of these cards will be getting immersive art as well. Hopefully Aerodactyl is one. Ever since watching him in the show as a kid, really creepy, really cool Pokemon. But what's he look like in the game? Well, his ability is drawing a lot of attention. Primeval Law, super cool name. Your opponent can't play any Pokemon from their hand to evolve their active Pokemon. So a lot of people are concerned about Aerodactyl's ability to really slow down evolution-heavy decks like Charizard Moltres, Mewtwo with Gardevoir, Venusaur, but let's consider how this is actually going to work in practice. And there are 2 things that make Aerodactyl significantly more weak than you might think. For one, note that Primeval Law only applies to active Pokemon. As someone who's played a lot of games with Charizard EX, there are very few matches, and we'll test some later, where I'm actually evolving my Charizard on the front lines. Typically, you're tanking with a Moltres or another Pokemon, then evolving in the back. Now, this isn't universal. Obviously, sometimes the way the cards are played, that's not an option, but for the Charizard deck, for example, if you only have a Charizard first hand and you're not getting a Moltres, you're screwed anyway. If you can, say, trap a card there with one of the various mechanics in-game, I guess you're at an advantage, but that would have been the case either way, and using Aerodactyl for that point is pretty niche. What is nice is that Aerodactyl's ability can be used even when he's not in the active spot, so you can have Aerodactyl on the back lines harassing a Pokemon, but there are other problems, and this comes down to deck construction and one fairly major issue, which is how fossil Pokemon are played. I actually did an entire video on the mechanics of fossils. Fossils can be very, very useful in decks where you need to draw specific basic Pokemon as a part of your win condition. For example, going back to the Charizard EX deck, you need to pull both Moltres and Charmander as early as possible. Fossils are useful because they provide some Sabrina protection. They can be discarded, but they also, despite acting like a basic Pokemon, are not summonable by Pokeballs. So in that Charizard deck, you usually will have 4 basic Pokemon, 2 Charmanders and 2 Moltres. You start off with a basic Pokemon, say a Moltres, you know if you get a Pokeball, you've got a 2 out of 3 chance of pulling the other one. However, that actually hurts Aerodactyl's position in a deck where at least he's meant to be a primary player, because there's no guarantee you're going to pull Old Amber, which is his fossil card. You can put 2 of them in your deck, but there's still a very good chance it takes a while to pull, and you have to consider you're also racing the clock. And where Aerodactyl could be nice is playing something like a Blaine Fire deck, where a lot of the evolving does happen from the active Pokemon and where there's lots of switching, but there's no chance you're going to be able to consistently pull both Aerodactyl and Old Amber early enough to actually affect the enemy's deck, especially when you can simply retreat your active Pokemon. This expansion, by the way, has a new retreat trainer where you can remove 2 retreat cost in 1 turn. And I'm guessing if you retreat, then cycle your Pokemon back in, the active effect will be gone. But that's something which we will need to test. That's not to say that Aerodactyl is bad. 80 damage off 2 energy, 1 retreat cost, and 140 health, that feels pretty good to me, even for an EX, with the ability really just being a bonus, not something you're building a deck around. Because yeah, when I initially saw this card, my first thought was, Oh no, Pikachu EX just got so much stronger, but with the ability limited to active Pokemon, not really. The 140 HP though, I will say, is quite nice because it allows it to survive a Giovanni'd Pikachu, even with the type weakness. But yeah, I think Aerodactyl will be okay. Again, him needing that one fighting type energy also does limit his deck placement, because I do know there are plenty of decks which will toss in a fossil. It would be really nice if you didn't need that fighting energy and you could sort of bring Aerodactyl out as a surprise. I would consider doing that in my Charizard deck, but the energy requirement sort of eliminates that possibility. However, the Pokemon that I am concerned about is Vaporeon, and this is for two reasons. One related to the meta and one related to just how I see things happening. So Vaporeon has a washout ability. As often as you like during your turn, you may move a water energy from one of your benched water Pokemon to one of your active water Pokemon. Now, from the non-meta perspective, I'm concerned because I can really see people doing this just to be annoying. You can use this ability as often as you like. I think people are just going to be moving their energy around to annoy folks, but that's kind of the nature of the game. For real though, water was already pretty powerful, especially with Misty. Washout gives water decks now just so much flexibility, especially where Vaporeon can be played on the backline. Remember, abilities are not limited to active Pokemon. Look at Greninja, for example, and Greninja is actually a really good use case for Vaporeon. Their Mist Slash does 60 damage. If you've got a Greninja or two on the back line, you can instantly bring them into the fold, transfer water to them, and you're doing 60 damage with a 120 HP card. That's really gross, especially when you add in the extra 20 damage from the water shuriken. And to make this even more gross, remember, Starmie has 0 retreat cost. So basically, without any sort of consequence, if you can get Vaporeon set up, you can take Starmie off the battlefield, replace her with another card, instantly do damage, then save your XP shares, save your new 2 energy retreat costs to get that Pokemon out. It's going to be nasty, and water's a ton of fun. I am actually gutted that I only got one of the Lapras cards from the promo event, because yeah, Lapras is a tank. It takes a while to get that bubble drain up to 80, but with the help of Vaporeon, plus of course Misty, I'm very excited and scared of water. Even Pikachu decks might start to struggle. There also are, of course, just situations where you're about to lose a Pokemon, and being able to keep that energy goes a long way and helps protect you from getting into any major deficits, even when you're about to lose a card. Anyway, I know we briefly talked about this in the other video, but I have seen a lot of discussion about Tauros. You know, the ability to come off the bench and do 120 damage to an EX Pokemon is really nice, but there are a couple of problems. The main one being there's no way to really prepare this without telegraphing it. Obviously, Tauros needs 3 energy. So you've got to rely on your opponent seeing you charging up the Tauros, leaving their EX Pokemon out there. But anyway, because this video was mostly about Aerodactyl, I thought it'd be fun to jump into some gameplay with my Charizard deck, which is very evolution heavy. Maybe one more deck as well, play a couple of games and see whether Aerodactyl could have affected the outcome, obviously knowing that he's not in the game until next week. Alright, so we're in a battle, and I decided to go Charizard Moltres because it is evolutionary heavy. I also thought it'd be interesting to throw a pair of Old Amber into the deck. Actually, to be honest, they were already in there, and an Aerodactyl. Unfortunately, I've only pulled one Aerodactyl up to this point, which feels crazy, but we'll get a good idea of what the pull rate for those 2 cards will look like in an ordinary deck. And yeah, this is not an ideal start, actually a very poor start for this deck. Hopefully we can get a Charmander with Professor's Research. There we go. Okay, so that went from a bad start to a pretty good one, actually, as long as we can get our Charmeleon before... This is why I shouldn't talk and stream at the same time. I forgot to use my Inferno Dance. I was thinking I was going first, even though I consciously moved the energy from Moltres to Charmander, but it's okay. Let's just pretend we got 3 tails. As backline Mewtwo's starting to get fed. So like, yeah, against this deck, you'll never really see, ooh, great start. Never really see Aerodactyl do too much. Mostly because they're always going to keep their evolving Pokemon on the back line here. But we're going to just probably empower... Oh, bother. We're going to try to empower this Charizard for a couple of turns, basically as long as we can here. Because this is not... I might just try to keep Moltres out until it's killed. Because this is not ideal. I'm going to need to get as much energy on this guy as possible. Thankfully, we've got him all out without a single, without any other Pokemon, so that's nice. So we can't really get Sabrina. Well, we can, but I'm not super worried about it. Come on, give me some energy, please. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. The question is, do I want to nuke... Yeah, I'm probably going to nuke Mewtwo, I think. If I nuke Mewtwo... and yeah, notice still no Fossil, still no Aerodactyl. If I nuke Mewtwo, I can survive one shot from his Mewtwo EX, so it should be okay. So let's go ahead and X speed. Notice still no Aerodactyl, still no Fossil. Cannot rely on it. I could actually just trying to think, do I really need to... Let's just slash you to death. Why not, right? So if I were to kill him, I'd have to charge up. So I think it's best that I still build a bit more energy here. He doesn't really have a whole lot in terms of options. Like, yeah, your Mewtwo is powered, but the second you take him out, he's dead. There's nothing you can do to stop me. I'm going to bother with the Pokeballs. We don't need them. Go ahead and do another slash. I actually think generally Charizard can match up pretty well against this deck. I know Charizard is kind of seen as a lower meta deck. I personally just like it because I've got pretty much the full roster, and it's the one that I've played the most as well. So that'll be GG's for him. If he had an Alakazam, he would have been able to mess me up, but he obviously does not. Not gonna help you, buddy. It's not gonna help you. I actually will concede because, you know what? I'm in the queue, but I'm not gonna concede all the time because people had good points about this, and I was thinking about making a video about this. You want to earn it, right? And I've conceded enough. I want to play the game. Yeah, I feel like winning the tournament with a concession would be kind of disheartening. Maybe it'd be a relief, but it's not like there's an actual real prize here. The prize is an emblem, which there's going to be a million. This time next year, you'll have 30 different emblems to choose from. So yeah, I initially thought it was the good move to, do the nice thing, go and concede a bunch. Even if you don't want to play a game, just go and concede, get your thanks. Nah, I'm not so sure. Okay, this is a really interesting start. Sorry, I do have my baby with me. So we've got the full... So this is a situation where if they could get Aerodactyl in, it would be devastating. Although, very nicely, I did also get an X speed. Honestly, though, Charizard is just... The Charizard line is useless until you get the big guy out. Charmeleon, 3 fire damage for 60 with only 90 HP is not great. The decision that I always have to make when using... Oh, interesting mirror matchup. Okay. So this is really interesting because we'll get to see whether my Aerodactyl will actually reach the battlefield. I'll throw... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually empower the backline one. Because I've got 2 sets. So hopefully he doesn't have a red card. So the reason why I'm putting Old Amber here, which, of course, notable we did get, is because if I get Sabrina, I don't have to put this Charmander out that I'm charging up. But yeah, let's see if we get the Aerodactyl as well. This is an interesting test. It's a good look at RNG and just deck construction, which is fun. Like I said, I do have 2 old Ambers in my deck. Oh, interesting. Oh, he's got a fighting type here. Okay. So yeah, I do have 2 old Ambers in my deck, but only 1 Aerodactyl. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Articuno. I'm kind of tempted. To mess him up here and pull this one out, but if I had my Moltres ready, I might do that. Obviously, I don't. So go ahead and end the turn. But I'm going to save that. What deck is this? I guess he's going to try to Greninja me down, I guess. All right. Interesting. So I'll get Charmander back next turn, and I'll start doing some work. That's good. That's good. I mean, we're not in a great spot, though. Although, okay, we are in a good spot because he doesn't have any fire energy on his Charizard, and he needs 2. So, that's good, at least. But what I'm going to do, I think, is save my Sabrina just in case. So let's go ahead and pop you out. The reason what I mean is you need to one-hit kill Charizard or he'll one-hit kill you. So still no Aerodactyl. The RNG has not been great, although I was trying to check my... It's fine. It's fine. They still need 2 energy. That's some quality gaming right there. I've actually just completely screwed myself. Well, it depends. Can I see what his next energy is? He's got a 1. Yeah, okay, so we're fine. I nearly screwed myself. I haven't got a single Moltres yet. So, ideally, I would be winning the game this turn, because I would have killed his Charmander and had my Crimson Storm ready for his Charizard, which I could have Sabrina'd into action, but I am instead an idiot, so... that time it was more of a misclick. I mean, I was dumb for doing it, but that's what it was. Oh, interesting. I don't think he knows the energy requirements of Crimson Storm. This is just a wackadoo deck. I think he's realizing now that he messed up. Is he gonna retreat? So he does get that fire next turn. I mean, if he retreats, it's... Like, I've got nothing other than this Charizard. Okay. Alright. Well, I do appreciate an off-meta deck. This whole time we've been playing, we haven't pulled a single... we have not pulled a single Aerodactyl yet. I swear it's in the deck. I will show you. So that's kind of a good reminder about deck construction and the likelihood of drawing cards. But we are going to end with a pull as well, because it's 6 o'clock my time, which I'm pretty sure is near when my pull restarts. And also, let me know, how many hourglasses do you guys have built up for the new deck? Let me just show you this. Can I see the deck from here? Maybe you can't. Decks. Moltres Charizard. Yeah, there it is. He's right there. We didn't see him once. So that's enlightening. It really is. But we'll end this video with a poll. Let me know how many timers you guys have saved up. Let's do... You know what? Let's do Charizard, because I'm pretty sure that's where Starmie is. I've only got one, and I think it's a deck on the rise here. Okay, this is gonna be trash. All right, that's all for watching, guys. Thanks for watching, and let me know if there's any thoughts you have on the new cards, the new event coming, the gameplay, any interesting decks you'd like to try out, and more down below. Bye bye.